Sent that from the guys who've been protesting all year, every day. Governor has Governor General, as per our Constitution, and the Governor has to listen. So now we're going to ask him. So everyone's rocking up. Sure. Grab. Everyone's in their white. Let's see everyone coming through.
I'm right behind you at the fence. Come and visit us at the car park over at Bridgeville.
Just waiting for Tash.
Yeah, the actual fence.
When was that?
Just that when we rode off on the bike.
Just after I left you.
Yeah,
Well, I drove past it too, didn't I?
Yeah, the fence pulled in and gave us a visit, asked us where we're going. I said, mate, the barbecue, where else are we going? You see them all the done room with the cameras on the radio. I just laughed at that. Waved at them. Yeah. That's not where they were going. And then as soon as we drove past Dundrum, they all bailed into the cars and started following.
Oh, they followed you, did they?
The Uniting White theme has begun.
Yeah.
Where was Tash this year? I'll just range it for an
Discrimination and segregation.
I'll take a quick photo.
I'll get that if you want to arrange. Can't see anyone when they're all in white. So these are the ones that hand out the pigs. Follows everything this is about. Do you want to just hand these out just for a few rounds? Might not be enough to go around, but just to get a few out. Take a few over this side.
Where's the one with the gold plate?
But yeah, it's all the big expensive.
Because there was, see there's the letters. That's all right. There's the letter and then this is a copy of everything that we're doing for them so that they know what we're doing. So this can all go to them. This is basically I'll double check it.
Yeah, I removed it.
Yeah, the gold clip was showing me which copy was yours and which copy was yours.
One more minute, sorry. I really appreciate everyone's patience here as we try to pull something like this fast. We didn't have many changes for safety, and safety is paramount.
Okay, so that's the first Who's doing what?
Oh, let's just start with this first one, then Wanda, then I think Karen, maybe Ben.
Yep.
All right.
So who's reading the intention?
So we're reading it all out, eh?
It's just okay.
All right, good morning everybody, good afternoon now. Thank you for coming to this last minute location. This is the headquarters of Joint Operation Command. This is an action, not so much a movement of the good true people of Australia, just asking the military to stand in. I'll quickly read it from as it is. To inspire and unite Australians in silent vigil in every town across Australia to show our support and respect for the Australian Defence Forces. We also stand to show our deep love for all children and vow that we will not rest until every child is safe. To empower many Australians, this is the purpose, to empower many Australians to create their own vigils in towns or suburbs where they live. The ultimate aim is to unite and bring back together communities for the common good. To provide the necessary support for everyone planning a vigil in their locality. To show the ADF that we respect and thank them for the service. We peacefully request that they assist Australia and its people, we being the people and their representatives at this stage. The actions: provide easy access to information so Australia can hold a Unite and White vigil, provide support to each coordinator to hold the vigil in a quiet and peaceful manner, and spread awareness of the Unite and White initiative Australia-wide but also globally. This is almost like a last stand of defiance. It began under a tree in a park, several locals chatting in a park, debating about what actions could be taken to move Australia to where it should be. Rallies, elections and judicial systems have not proved effective as a solution to the current situation Australia now finds itself in. A Mahatma Gandhi style of vigil became the popular choice of action, and while only 2 weeks out from Christmas, a peaceful vigil was held at Gallipoli, Enoggera Barracks on 18th of December 2022. The sentiments of that first vigil went viral and appear to have responded with many other Australians who are now fired up to hold the vigils at either nearby barracks or simply in their towns. Many mentions of the military as the only way forward have been noted across a variety of social media sites, not only in Australia but worldwide. Not a violent coup, no, not so ever. A simple request to our beloved military in the knowledge that they are now the only way to relieve Australians from the tyranny under which we find ourselves. Unite and White seeks to empower all Australians to peacefully and respectfully ask the Australian Defence Forces for help. And the letter will be handed in just as soon as we finish this. And so I'll roll straight in and hand over. But from Psalm number 1, this is the soldier's prayer. I dwell in Christ, the secret place of the Most High, and I abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I'll say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver me from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He covers me with His feathers, and under His wings I take refuge. His truth shall be my shield and buckler. I will not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in the darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at my side, and 1,000 more at my right hand, but it shall not come near me. Only with my eyes shall I look and see the reward of the wicked, because I have made the Lord my refuge, even the Most High my dwelling place. No evil shall befall me, nor will any plague come near my dwelling, for he will give his angels charge over me, to keep me in all my ways. In their hands they shall bear me up, lest I dash my foot against a stone. I will tread upon the lion and the cobra. The young lion and the serpent I will trample underfoot, because he has set his love upon me. Therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honour him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Just a quick quote from Mahatma Gandhi, one of our beloved warriors at the front for a long time.
Behind the camera and not in front of it.
Yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi.
When I despair, I remember that all through history, the ways of truth and love has always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Think of it. Always.
Always. Thank you. Quick saying of Martin Luther King, because these are the people that have led the way peaceful. Glenda, would you like to say this one, please?
Martin Luther King, in his famous speech the night before his assassination, reminded the people of this need for unity. He said, "You know, whenever Pharaoh wanted to prolong the period of slavery in Egypt, he had a favourite formula for doing it. What was that? He kept the slaves fighting among themselves. But whenever the slaves get together, something happens in Pharaoh's court, and he cannot hold the slaves in slavery. When the slaves get together, that's the beginning of getting out of slavery." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tash, who's put all this together as part of, with Vigil and Ogra, the Unite in White. We're going to go ahead with this one. All right, we're nearly on the other side at the moment. This is the I Am Australian, the Seekers. It's become a bit of a thing that the three of us have been doing to unite everybody. And so, yeah, it might not be as beautiful as it may sound for myself, and these guys will pick it up. And yeah, just bear with us.
They came from the dream time, from the dusty red soil plains. They are the ancient hearts, the keepers of the flame. They stood upon the rocky shores. They watched the tall ships come for 40,000 years. They've been first Australians.
Some came upon the prison ships, bowed down by iron chains. They fought the land, endured the lash, and watched for the rains. They were settlers and farmer wives on dry and barren runs. Convicts, then free men. They became Australians.
They were daughters of diggers who sought the mother love. Girls became women on the long and dusty road. Child of her depression saw the good times come. Bushy
share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian.
They are tellers of stories and singers of the songs, like Albert Namatjira, who paints the ghostly guns.
Like Clancy on his horse and Ned Kelly on the run, and ones who waltz Matilda, they are Australian.
When a hot wind from the desert, mountains and the valleys, droughts and flooding rains, we are the rock, we are the sky, the rivers when they run, the spirit of this great land. We are Australian, we are one,
But we are many, and from all the lands on earth we come. We'll share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. I am, you are, we are Australian. Just going to have a 5 minute silence, and then we'll get ready for the letter. that was a long 5 minutes, for all the right reasons, but shall I read the letter? So from here I'm just about to take the letter over and see if they call for the duty officer to come forward. Just so everyone knows what this letter has in it. It's to Lieutenant General Gregory Billam, AO, CSC, Chief of Joint Operations, Headquarters, Joint Operations Command, where we are here now. To the Base Commander and the Australian Defence Force personnel. As patriotic Australians, we formally seek and support the intervention of the Australian Defence Forces to protect us and save Australia from the current federal and state governments that are acting against the best interests of Australia and the Australian people. Many Australians now comprehend the level of corruption they have been living under and have a sense of vulnerability as our once magnificent nation is being deliberately weakened by attacks on our way of life and social values from foreign, globalist, unelected organisations. There is no trust left in our government to protect our people, our interests and our country. We now turn for help to the ADF as stated on the Army website page. Our values and contract. Army's cultural and ethical foundation is its values and bonds of trust and respect between each other and every person who joins in service to our nation. These core values form the bedrock of everything we do. Service, the selflessness of character to place the security and interests of our own nation and its people ahead of my own. Courage, the strength of character to say and do the right thing, always, especially in the face of adversity. Respect, the humanity of character to value others and treat them with dignity. Integrity, the consistency of character to align my thoughts, words and actions to do what is right. Excellence, the willingness of character to strive each day to be the best I can be, both professionally and personally. These laudable values and the contract created give us great hope that the ADF will abide by those values and come to the aid of this nation and us, we the people. We request the following actions of the ADF. That the ADF now act to protect the people of Australia and our country from enemies, foreign and domestic. That the ADF enter into the partnership with the Australian people to progress the attached log of necessary actions. These attached actions include removing all politicians of all levels of government in Australia and establishing an executive committee until constitutional democratic elections can be held using blockchain technology. Our forebears fought in many wars to assure that future generations will be able to live in a democratic, financially stable and culturally rich country. We once again call on the Australian Defence Forces to act to save the people of Australia and our much-loved country at this hour of need. We thank you and all ADF personnel for your service to the people of Australia and our country. Yours faithfully, Unite in White. So I'm just going to walk up to the guard gate. You two coming with me, are you? And we'll just see if they will be willing to accept that. And thank you very much for your time. And but they probably won't be able to get too far. But yeah, non-threatening. So if everyone just holds here and just three people walk up, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Good day, kind sirs. We'd just like to ask if you could ask the duty officer to come up and see us just to hand off one letter to them, please. Yeah, can I please just, can you come forward just so I can hear you? Sorry, I can't quite hear you.
I've stated to you
Yep.
already, there's no one available for you.
So
I
the
direct you to
Defence
the
Force-
sign in front of you, the
Yep.
sign states it says Commonwealth Link. You're trespassing.
We are members of the Commonwealth, this is the Commonwealth of Australia. So there's no way that a duty officer or anyone from the military is in there that's willing to come and see us, the people here. Would you guys be willing to take this letter and directly drop it off to the main administration?
You won't be taking hold of any
So this, you work for Downer EDI, the corporation. So you're going to stop.
Dan Vincent.
Yes. Pardon? Yep. Is there a public servant that's working there that can come up and receive a letter on behalf of the chief command, the base commander, and the ADF personnel at this location, Lieutenant General Gregory Bilton? There's absolutely no way that there's anyone there that will come up and see us as a representative of the Defence Force. Have you asked?
I've already stated to you, there's
Yep.
no one that can discuss issues with you. I refer you to the signage under the Defence Act and under the Trespassing Act. You want to find the trespassers, follow the directions of the AFP, New South Wales.
No, say something. Yes, we will.
Before you go, we were trying to organise somebody to come out and see you at Duntroon earlier today.
Look, we
that
understand.
might still be available if you.
I think I'll go back past the end. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Beaumont. Yeah, yes, mate, yes. Okay. But we are
My
going to
name's
be
Brenda
peacefully.
Merritt and I'm a Ngunnawal elder. So when you drive into the country of the boundaries of Ngunnawal countries, there is signs that the ACT government recognises this is Ngunnawal country. So as a Ngunnawal elder, would you deliver these documents, please?
As I previously stated to you, there's no one available on site to accept any documentation. I refer you to the signage under the Defence Act and the Commonwealth Act. You are defined as trespassers. Follow the directions of the Australian Federal Police, New South Wales Police, and leave sign.
Yes, I wanted that recorded for the record. So the New South Wales government, the United Ngunnawal Elders Council, heard you on record for saying this. Thank you.
No worries.
What time, sir?
Sorry.
There'll be someone at Duntroon who'll be willing to take our letter from us now, as was originally the plan, and a couple of reasons we changed the plan: safety, but also so that people can quite clearly see this. Corporations moving in to separate us from our own people, basically.
From our army.
From our army, and do come up the police officers here who are working very.
Mark has always been very good. The whole 12 months we've been here, we've had a lot of interaction with Mark, and he's always been good with us.
And, so as individual people, we try to reach their hearts to see what we're doing and step away from the corporate structure in which they're involved in the rules and regulations. So we've done what we can here. Thank you very much, Danny. Obviously, the corporations won't let us go any further. So
We're just waiting to see because the police are trying to organise someone to come out to receive the letter from us. So they're calling now, and we'll wait for our answer here. If the answer is yes, only a small number of us can go because there's very limited parking.
at the end of the day, we've achieved the objective both optically, visually, and
Well, wherever
spiritually,
you can safely
emotionally.
and legally park.
Do they have an email we can email the documents to?
Sorry.
Do we have an email we can email the documents?
Yes.
Email we can post.
Yeah, and we will do. It's just a visual and just to see how it is.
Yeah.
I believe there's people working with the police, within the police and within the Defence Force that are very heartened by our stand here. And that it's them as individuals we're trying to reach. So to stand in the adversity of a corporation and stand up and say, no, I'd rather be with the people, it's going to be highly a courageous thing for these people to do. And I don't underestimate what it will take for them to do that. Lots already have, but now we're actually trying to get to the, I suppose, the command to do that. So. from here, I suppose we dissipate and go back. I will be stopping in at Duntroon and handling in that letter if that was required. But yeah, I stand by the reasons why we didn't quite go there, and we quite visually saw that this is Joint Operation Command. They're supposed to be there for we the people, and a corporate entity by the name of Downer step in and they won't let them have any environment. I mean, they've been told to be trespassing and we should go in the direction of the
Told trespassing on what? At the end of the road.
if we progress any further and even here, yes, this is defence and sensible.
They're supposed to serve us. They're supposed to protect us.
We are
That
the
was before they figured
Yeah.
that was before they got private contractors.
So it's Commonwealth Land, we are people of the Commonwealth of Australia, which is who have every right to be here.
So they're foreign military.
Yeah, that is the corporate, they're foreign entities. And they're powered and they're being weaponised against the people. It's their rules, we do not work for their corporation, so their rules don't apply to us. The fact that someone gets a contract, it doesn't mean that they take over all sovereignty of our rights. They're a corporation.
Those particular people did if we entered that property because they have no rights over us because they are human beings of this planet just like us.
So would they be acting treasonous for not delivering the documents?
Yeah, or even just the
Yeah.
fact that they're now there at the moment is a treasonous
Treason
act
act.
against us.
Yes.
Yeah, they're supposed to be military police, but exactly. They're supposed to be our own public servants. Yeah. And as a soldier, I did my guard duty. You'd all rotate through the guardhouse. Yeah. It's good for the soul. It's good for character.
Yeah.
Can't have things that are good for you nowadays, mate. That's why they'll stick private military on their gate because you'll have to follow your allegiance and your allegiance to the country, but they don't because they work for a private entity. It's just like in the courtroom the other day where a lady was professing to be a natural born woman of blood and bone, and they took her away. The magistrate got her removed with Wilson security, not with the sheriffs that were standing right there. Why? Because the sheriffs would have to stand up for her, but Wilson security is a private entity. That's why they used them in the courthouse to remove her.
So who governs them? They're obviously a registered corporation to the US under the Stock Exchange Commission.
Yep.
So would that be Biden? You know, the fake one?
Yeah, technically Wilson is a Singapore-based company and has large Chinese money invested in it. And then they look after all of our defence
And
sites.
it has pretty much every single government contract in Australia and city contract in
So
Australia.
this is conquest by stealth.
Yep. Based in China.
If there's any defence people out there listening and taking notice of this, this is exactly the reason why we're imploring you to stand in. You're our brothers and sisters in arms. We care about you. You're our family. Let's bring it back to family. There's corporate entities, foreign interests that are not even letting us be together. They're dividing us. So really implore them to stand up and even have the conversation amongst themselves, join with like-minded people within their own ranks, and make a stand. Hopefully we can get to the command and make it work it down so they don't have such a hard battle. But this is exactly what we're talking about. I'm not trying to give our soldiers more guard duties, however. It never hurt me, my friend. It never hurt me. But it's more jobs for people, isn't it? There's brothers and sisters for everyone else. Our soldiers, our diggers. Yeah, if you will. Sorry.
With AI and automation coming, these are the first jobs to go.
I suppose I might as well keep forward. So what do we call this document? Sorry, it's just the
This is the log of claims.
log of claims. So to our Australian Defence Forces, thank you for your service to our beloved country. Vigil. Oh, this is Vigil Canberra.
Oh yeah, I made that logo.
This one, mate. I'll tell you this one. Vigil Canberra, unite and what? When the government no longer follows the mandate of the people, it is the responsibility of the people to make their voices heard. That's what this is. Australia, their parents and grandparents died for, will no longer be recognised by them. It is as if their The Aussie way of life as we knew it is disappearing before our eyes, and we turn to the courageous men and women of our defence forces. This is a clarion call for the ADF to help us get our country back. Peaceful, civil. Why we are here. Our fundamental democratic rights have been destroyed by elected and unelected officials, selected, and Australians have had enough. The parliamentary judiciary, the law enforcement systems are failing to protect and defend Australian citizens from overreach of all levels of government. Decisions made in our parliaments by sitting and former members have all but handed over our nation to international organisations such as the World Economic Forum, United Nations, World Health Organisation, Trilateral Commission, Downer, to name a few. Our so-called leaders have fully sold out and submitted us to international organisations heavily funded by private corporations whose key platforms include controlling the masses and reducing the population of the planet. I'm very sorry to make people aware of that, but this is true. By clever, purposeful design, our elected politicians and unelected bureaucrats have succeeded in a premeditated collapse and destruction of our manufacturing industry. Many of our farms sold off to foreign interests, our water resources controlled and sold, markets and money controlled and generated, then used against us as the value of our dollar becomes worthless as each day passes. The people of Australia never voted to go to war involving Russia and Ukraine, risking the lives of our brave defence forces again. Australia has no business fighting wars in other people's countries, and the people want no part of it. When all else fails, they take you to war. Our enemy is here at home, insurged within our unconstitutional corporate government. The emergence of COVID-19 has brought much of the underhanded decision-making by our governments and corrupt politicians into the limelight. What once was hidden behind subterfuge is now in the open, becoming more and more obvious every day. There is no question that Australia's national security is under urgent threat. The collaboration between pharmaceutical companies, mainstream media, large corporations and our government is a threat to the safety and the well-being of Australian people. We are ordinary Australians. We are mums and dads, grandmas and grandpas, brothers and sisters, friends and neighbours. Some of us come from far-flung corners of the globe to make this beautiful country our home. We do not represent political parties, activist groups, protest movements. We are standing on the shoulders of giants who came before us, such as Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, visionaries who changed the course of history with peaceful and thoughtful disobedience, and I'm going to put our Lord Jesus Christ's name there as well. What we share is a fundamental concern for Australia's future, that we feel compelled to do something about it. Many of us have never ever put our hands up for anything like this in our lives. We are peaceful, law-abiding Australians who do not want any trouble, but at the same time fear that doing nothing will spell the end of our freedoms and lead to a total destruction of our country. So the necessary actions, we are requesting help with the Australian Defence Force to oversee the following measures. Remove all politicians and replace us with temporary administrative arrangements to ensure continuity of day-to-day business. Establish an executive committee until constitutional democratic elections can be held on the blockchain to ensure election integrity. Remove the Governor-General and all state governors.
Yeah.
Establish a military tribunal to oversee trials for treason.
Yeah.
Cooperate with international trials for crimes against humanity, including but not limited to any individual or organisation who colluded with the governments to promote and carry out the COVID-19 agenda and advocated for, I'm just going to hold off on that word, of the Australian people, perpetrators of human trafficking, pedophilia, child sex trafficking and satanic ritual abuse. Those are the necessary actions of all this. That's about it. That's what we...
One of the main reasons, if you think about Australia as a continent, or even just a country, right? If we rebelled to the point where they had to put sanctions on this country would literally laugh at the rest of the world. Everything they need, we have. Everything we have, we need, we already have. This is why they took our manufacturing away, our cars away, all that sort of stuff, because they didn't want us to be able to be independent. They wanted us to rely on them and their foreign entities. this is why they've slowly destroyed our manufacturing and our way of life. Because we are probably literally the only place in the world who could literally stand on its own 2 feet without losing a single thing. We have everything in this country. That's why they've destroyed us, or tried to get to destroy us, but they didn't realise Australian people were so strong.
Ain't that the truth?
It's a bit broad. True. Small umbrella for us to sit around.
Exactly.
They haven't truly suffered
No.
for a long time.
No, that's
You look at a lot of the elderly people who did truly suffer at some point, and they are fully awake.
They're at the end of their lives, so that knowledge
it's
is
too
not,
hard for them
is
to
not
fight.
going to pass on now, especially when they lock them away in nursing homes. But
They
they
give them
couldn't pass that wisdom on.
They give them the first dose of a medication to make sure that they're first affected or
Yeah, so all of that, how did they survive through the depression? All of that knowledge is going to have to dig it all back up.
It's up to us to pass on.
If at any stage you think we've exhausted our time, we're happy to leave. I really appreciate the time and part of it.
He was planning to do that at midday.
No, I understand it, yeah, I know.
So
And we'll try again another day, but thank you. No, thank you, mate.
If I get a phone call back and he's organised it.
We'll do, mate, and we'll chat.
But maybe he's 10 minutes. So let's make it 1 o'clock.
Yeah, right, mate, thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, we're ready to take it out. Take it out, okay. Well, I think that's all that needs to be said.
Alrighty guys, just in case you didn't hear that, the police officer came up and informed us probably about 10 minutes beforehand. Hopefully they'll have someone come out and receive the letter. So stand by, probably about 10 minutes actually. Hang on a minute, stand by. Thank you, sir.
So, yeah, just basically a couple of us are going to go to Duntroon. The officer will be there. He doesn't want this thing filmed. I'll assure you myself that I will get this done and report back to you. But yeah, so the same three will go there. And if everyone wants to go back to either the courthouse where they're having the barbecue, otherwise back to Garden or disperse home. I thank you very much for your time. I will see this done and report back to you guys immediately. Thank you very much to the AFP and their help help with executors because the AFP helped us where the corporation wouldn't.
Alright, trendsetters, that looks like that's it from the HQJOC. We will talk to you soon. Signing out. Sayonara. Au revoir.